A 72-year-old man passed away this morning. Avoid these 5 dangerous morning habits after 70 to protect your health. This morning, as the first rays of sunlight had yet to pierce through the leaves, the sudden passing of a 72-year-old man sent shockwaves through his community. He was described as frugal, gentle, and someone who led a seemingly disciplined lifestyle. Yet, despite maintaining habits that appeared healthy, his death came unexpectedly and quietly, serving as a wake-up call for anyone entering their 70s, an age where the body can no longer withstand small yet dangerous mistakes in daily routines, especially in the morning. Many people assume that mornings are simply the start of a new day. But for the elderly, this is the most vulnerable time of day. Seemingly harmless actions such as jumping out of bed too quickly, drinking coffee on an empty stomach, or skipping breakfast can trigger a cascade of negative biological reactions in the body. These actions can increase the risk of strokes, cardiovascular issues, and long-term damage to blood pressure and neurological health. Old age should be a time for rest and slowing down, but this doesn't mean we can be careless with our daily habits. One careless morning can lead to a day of fatigue, a week of instability, and potentially severe consequences in the future. Becoming aware of what is silently harming our health in the morning is the first step toward living longer, healthier, and more peacefully as we age. Some habits have been with us for decades, becoming almost inseparable from our daily lives. But that doesn't mean they're always good. The human body constantly changes with time. What was beneficial at 30 or 40 may become harmful at 70. That's why it's not just about maintaining familiarity. It's about learning to let go of what no longer serves us, starting with our morning habits. A safe and healthy morning routine for those over 70 should begin with gentleness, caution, and an awareness of self-care. What matters isn't who wakes up earliest or who is the most energetic. It's about listening to your body, understanding your limits, and making the right choices from the moment you open your eyes. These choices don't have to be complicated, but they must come from a deep understanding of elderly health. Upon waking, an older adult's body is in a transitional state between sleep and full activity. Blood pressure, heart rate, hormone levels, and blood sugar fluctuate significantly at this time. A single wrong move can throw the entire system off balance, causing dizziness, rapid heartbeat, or even fainting. This is why so many health incidents occur in the morning, the time that should be the most peaceful part of the day. The sad truth is that most harmful morning habits stem from ignorance or from deeply ingrained behaviors that are hard to change. Some people leap out of bed believing it shows vitality. Others take medication on an empty stomach, unaware of the risks. Some even skip breakfast, thinking it's unnecessary. All of these come from a place of complacency, while the body is quietly crying out for help. The key isn't to overhaul everything overnight. It's to start with awareness. Understanding that every morning action directly affects overall health is essential. When we change how we begin our day, we also change how we live the rest of our days. Let each morning be an opportunity to live more healthily, more slowly, and more mindfully. Taking care of oneself after 70 isn't something far-fetched. It's found in the small choices. How you get out of bed, how you hydrate, what you eat, and what you do right after waking up. These seemingly minor actions hold great power in extending lifespan and improving quality of life. In the following sections of this article, we'll explore in depth the morning habits that may appear harmless but are in fact dangerous for the elderly. Beyond simply identifying them, the article will offer practical solutions, simple ways to replace bad habits with positive actions, so that each new morning becomes not just a chance to survive, but an opportunity to thrive and find joy in living. As dawn breaks, many elderly individuals have the habit of abruptly sitting up in bed, a reflex ingrained from their working days. They believe that quickly getting out of bed is a sign of alertness and discipline. However, in reality, this is one of the most dangerous actions for cardiovascular health and blood pressure in older adults. After a long night of rest, the body is in a relaxed state. Blood vessels are dilated, and both heart rate and blood pressure are lower than usual. Suddenly shifting from lying down to sitting and then standing can prevent blood from circulating properly to the brain, which may cause dizziness, imbalance, and falls. More dangerously, for those with a history of cardiovascular issues, Such rapid movements can trigger chest pain, arrhythmia, or even a stroke. A better way to start the day is to spend a few minutes lying still after waking up, taking deep breaths and gently moving the fingers, feet, neck, and shoulders. This helps gradually activate the circulatory system and naturally warm up the body. After that, sit up slowly, let your feet touch the floor, feel the ground, and only then stand up carefully. These small movements before getting out of bed can become life-saving habits that many overlook. Another common mistake in the morning is failing to drink water right after waking up. After 7 to 8 hours of sleep, the body becomes significantly dehydrated, and the blood thickens, forcing the heart to work harder to pump blood throughout the body. Without timely rehydration, the risk of blood clots, high blood pressure, or heart attacks increases, especially in older adults. However, not all beverages are suitable for starting the day. Many people are in the habit of drinking coffee or strong tea upon waking, even though these are diuretics that stimulate the stomach and worsen dehydration. Instead, a glass of warm water, about 200 to 300 milliliters, is the ideal choice to awaken the digestive system, thin the blood, and gently kickstart internal organs. Skipping breakfast or eating too late in the morning is also a common mistake among the elderly. Some believe they no longer need as much energy or think eating in the morning causes bloating. However, breakfast is the key to stabilizing blood sugar levels, supplying energy to the brain, and preventing symptoms like shaky hands, fatigue, or irritability throughout the day. Without energy intake in the morning, the body draws from liver reserves, placing stress on the digestive and endocrine systems. If this continues over time, the body's ability to self-regulate diminishes, increasing the risk of diabetes, metabolic disorders, and unstable blood pressure. An ideal breakfast for seniors doesn't have to be elaborate but should be nutritionally balanced, with protein from eggs or milk, slow-digesting carbs from whole grains, and a bit of fiber from soft fruits or vegetables. Another often overlooked issue is taking medication at the wrong time. Many people take their medications immediately upon waking, especially blood pressure or heart medications. However, taking medication on an empty stomach can irritate the stomach lining, leading to nausea, abdominal pain, or even ulcers if done long-term. Additionally, drug absorption on an empty stomach can be inconsistent, reducing therapeutic effectiveness. It's important to eat something light before taking medication or consult a doctor to know the best timing for each specific drug. A clear, fixed medication schedule helps the elderly better adapt to treatments and avoid unwanted side effects. Beyond these physical aspects, there is one behavior that is extremely common yet rarely seen as dangerous: consuming negative news right after waking. Many older adults have the habit of turning on the TV, radio, or phone to catch up on the latest news. However, being bombarded with bad news or distressing information first thing in the morning can lead to mental stress, making the day start off in a state of anxiety and pressure. Negative emotions not only affect quality of life but also weaken the immune system and reduce the body's ability to recover, especially in those with existing mental health issues such as insomnia, depression, or dementia. Instead of absorbing too much information in the morning, seniors should start their day with gentle music, a few pages of uplifting reading, or simply enjoying the natural scenery outside their window. A healthy morning doesn't come from haste, but from thoughtful care, beginning with the smallest details. Each deep breath, every slow stretch, every sip of warm water, and each light meal is a gift to the body after a night of rest. By understanding and practicing these daily, seniors will clearly feel the difference in their health, mood, and overall zest for life. Life after 70 doesn't have to be marked by illness or fear. What matters is learning to live more wisely, more gently, and more mindfully. Mornings no longer have to be threats. They can become a time of healing, energy renewal, and self-connection. It's the beginning of a new day, not just to survive, but to truly live, alert, strong, and peaceful. After crossing the age of 70, each new day is no longer just a continuation of time. It becomes an opportunity to nurture health, spirit, and connection to life. However, if the day begins with harmful habits, that opportunity can quickly be replaced by accumulating risks that the individual may not even realize. Sadly, many only recognize their mistakes after experiencing a stroke, a sudden fainting episode, or even witnessing a loved one pass away from seemingly minor causes. The health of older adults is not something easy to grasp or maintain without self-understanding. No one can care for your body better than yourself, especially when time and age have made it more sensitive and vulnerable than in younger years. That's why every morning habit and choice can act either as medicine or poison, determining your quality of life and longevity. A crucial point to note is that one's morning mood can shape the attitude for the entire day. If a person starts their day in a rush, feeling stressed or grumpy from a lack of sleep, their entire routine is likely to fall out of sync. Their biological rhythm is disturbed, emotions may easily spiral into negativity, and decision-making capacity can decline significantly. This is why many older individuals often become irritable or agitated without understanding why. They may attribute it to age, but the root cause could lie in an unhealthy morning. Another equally important factor is exposure to light. Many older adults live in dimly lit environments or do not have the habit of stepping outside to breathe fresh morning air. This may seem harmless, but it directly affects the body's biological clock, sleep-regulating hormones like melatonin, and overall mental well-being. When morning sunlight touches the skin, the body produces serotonin, a hormone that boosts happiness and alertness. Natural light exposure also helps reset the internal body clock, promoting better sleep at night and more energy during the day. Morning healthcare is not only about avoiding risks, but also about building new, restorative, and long-term supportive habits. A simple example is practicing meditation or deep breathing for 5 to 10 minutes in the morning. This helps stabilize blood pressure, reduce stress, and soothe the nervous system, essential for older adults who are prone to anxiety or negative thinking. In fact, simply sitting quietly, listening to the surrounding sounds, and feeling your heartbeat is a way to connect with yourself and understand what your body truly needs at that moment. In addition, light morning movement should also be a priority. There's no need for intense workouts or jogging. The key is to wake the body up actively. A few stretches, walking around the house, or reaching out on a balcony is enough to boost circulation, stimulate joints and the spine, and reduce the risk of stiffness or falls. After 70, the body doesn't need intense exercise. It needs consistent, gentle motion so that each muscle group and joint doesn't fall asleep with time. Another often overlooked point is the choice of clothing in the morning. For older adults, wearing tight clothes, non-breathable fabrics, or walking barefoot on a cold floor can affect blood pressure, circulation, or lead to colds. Comfort, warmth, and lightness should be top priorities when selecting morning attire, especially since the body's temperature is typically lower upon waking. Lastly, we mustn't forget the role of mental well-being in morning healthcare. Older adults who maintain a positive outlook often have morning habits that reinforce self-encouragement, such as journaling, reading a motivational quote, or simply smiling at themselves in the mirror. These seemingly small acts have powerful effects in activating the will to care for oneself, thereby spreading good energy throughout the day. When someone takes special care of their mornings, they are giving themselves the chance to live healthier, longer, and happier. The morning is no longer a vulnerable time, but becomes the foundation for building physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Every person over 70 deserves a morning like that, complete, gentle, and full of love. None of us can stop time from passing, but we can absolutely choose to live with time in a kinder and wiser way. After the age of 70, health is no longer something we can take for granted as we did in our youth. It becomes something that must be cared for daily, starting from the smallest details like how we begin the morning, how we place our feet on the floor, to each breath we take upon waking. In reality, serious health risks in older adults don't usually come from major events, but often stem from seemingly harmless habits repeated every day. An unhealthy morning, rushed, emotionally unbalanced, skipping breakfast, no physical movement, and a lack of body awareness, can be the first step in a chain reaction of negative consequences for the entire day, week, and even the rest of one's life. The good news is that we still have the opportunity to change. Whether you're 70 or beyond, it's never too late to adjust a habit. You can start tomorrow, with a slower, gentler morning with time to breathe, to drink a glass of warm water, to walk under the early sunlight, and to be grateful for the simple fact that you've woken up. That in itself is already a beautiful beginning. More important than avoiding dangerous habits is cultivating a new mindset, to cherish each morning as a gift from life. A gift that not everyone is still fortunate enough to receive every day. Let's use that gift to take care of ourselves, to show love to our bodies, which have accompanied us through many decades, through gentle, thoughtful, and compassionate gestures. Life after 70 is not merely about existence. It can be a rich, profound, and meaningful journey, if we choose to live it mindfully. And all of that begins with a true morning. A morning not just to wake up, but to truly live.